Good morning, everyone. Today we will continue our chapter Economics Reforms, and our today's topic is demonetization. Demonetization was a new initiative taken by the Government of India in 8th November 2016 to tackle the problems of corruption, black money, terrorism, and circulations of fake currency in the economy. Old currency notes of rupees 500 and 1000 were no longer legal tender. New currency notes in the demonetization of rupees 500 and rupees 2000 were launched. The public were advised to deposit old currency notes in their bank account till 31st December 2016 without any declaration and up to 31st March 2017 with the RBI with the declaration. Further, to avoid a complete breakdown and cash crunch, notes government had the allowed exchange of rupees 4,000 old currency, the buy new currency per person and per day. Further, till 12 December 2016, old currency notes were acceptable as a legal tender at petrol pumps, government hospitals, and for the payment of the government dues like taxes, power bills, etc. These moves revised both the appreciation and criticism. There were long queues outside banks and ATMs booths. The shortage of currency in circulation had an adverse impact on the economic activities. However, things improved with the times and the normally returned. The banks and the post office were instructed to report all deposit about 2.5 lakhs rupees in the saving account, about the 12.50 lakhs to income tax department. New 500 and 200 rupees notes were introduced in this demonetization policy. Now some withdrawal of the coins or currency notes from its use or the legal tender is called the demonetization. Some positive aspect, or we can say some merits of the demonetization also. It helps to eliminate the black money. It means black money refers to the unaccounted money. Those who hold black money cannot exchange the demonetized currency with legal tender currency. Either they have to pay tax and make it white money or dispose it off. Second, it helps to eliminate the fake currency note. Fake currency notes cannot be deposited in bank, so such notes will be eliminated. And third, reduction in the illegal activities. Just like black money and the fake currency notes are mostly used for the illegal activities such as terrorism and smuggling. Eliminations of black money and fake currency resulted in the decline of these activities. Promotion of cashless transactions. Demonetization encouraged the people to go for the digital transactions. The use of payment applications, debit cards, credit cards, and online transfer increased. India is moving towards the efficiently cashless economy. Increase in tax revenue. Demonetization forced several people to disclose their actual income and pay tax properly. Revenue from income tax, property tax, and wealth tax and land registration fees increased considerably. Reduction in the government's liability. Black money holders who did not want to disclose their income had to dispose of their old currency notes. It reduced the liability of the government. If some merits are there, simultaneously some demerits also are there. So demerits or the adverse effect of the demonetization. First, inconvenience to people. It caused a lot of inconvenience to the people. People had to stand in the long queues to deposit, exchange or withdraw notes. Sudden announcement of demonetization created panic and fear among the people. Lack of sufficient currency in the hands created a lot of trouble. Second, negative effect on economic activities. Demonetization had negative effect on trade, business and consumption activities. Economic slowdown. It affected the growth of the economy because scarcity of the money create the less purchasing power of the consumer. Third, costly for the government. The government had to spend a lot of money to print the new currency notes that replaced the old notes. Next, difficulty in cashless transactions. A large number of people in the country are uneducated and ignorant. They found it very difficult to carry out of cashless transactions. Next, corruption. Several banks officers illegally exchanged old notes for the new ones. They misuse the accounts for that the person. Next, loss of daily wages and earners. Slowdown of economic affected the daily wages earns. Job opportunity reduced and employees were unable to pay wages. Now, effect of demonetization on the money supply in the economy. Money supply reduced due to demonetization. Eliminations of black money and fake currency resulted in the decline of money supply. Delay in the supplying new currency notes also resulted in the decline in the money supply. Effect of demonetization on the liquidity position of commercial bank. People deposited old currency notes in large quantities in their accounts. Banks got a lot of deposits. It increased the liquidity positions of bank also. Effect of demonetization on inflation. Demonetization helped in reducing the rate of inflation. Eliminations of black money and the fake currency resulted in the reduction in money supply. This led to reduction in aggregate demand. Prices started falling in the economy. Now next topic is GST. It means Goods Services Tax. That is a common tax for goods and services. The Parliament passed a law, Goods and Service Tax Act 2016, to simplify and introduce unified indirect tax system in India. This law came into effect from 1st July 2017. GST is an indirect tax levied on the supply of goods and services right from the producer to the consumer. It is the destinations based consumption tax with the facility of input tax credit in the supply chain. It is applicable throughout the country with one rate of one type of goods and services. Aims of the goods and service tax is or GST is to generate the additional revenue for the government, to reduce the tax evasion, and to create the one nation, one tax and one market policy. The indirect taxes that were replaced by the GST, it means VAT, sale tax, and entry tax, luxurious tax, octroi, entertainment tax, tax on advertisement, taxes on lottery, betting, and gambling. State the cases on the goods. GST is an indirect tax that was designed to bring the indirect taxation under one umbrella. It means to create the one nation, one tax, and one market. More importantly, it is going to eliminate to cascading and the effect on tax. It avoids the tax on tax. It introduced the concept of the one nation, one tax, and one market. Rate of taxation is uniform throughout the country. It promoted free movement of goods across the states. GST reduced the cost of production and helped our produce to compete with the products of other countries also. GST promoted economic growth rate. Simple and moderate tax system encouraged the investment and growth. Taxation system has been made simple. The entries process from registration to filing returns can be made online. Several small producers and small service providers are exempted from taxation under GST. Tax rate for essential commodities is very low. This will help poor people also. Some demerits of GST is also there. GST was introduced in the middle of the financial year. This creates a lot of confusion among the people. As the fee structure is totally new, the small producers had to seek the help of the professionals. They had to purchase the new software. GST registration in the different states becomes the mandatory for the seller. Components of the GST. GST having the three components: CGST, SGST, and IGST. CGST collected by the central government on an intra-state sales. It means the transactions happening within the one state, maybe Maharashtra to Maharashtra with the Maharashtra. And SGST collected by the state government on an intra-state sales. It means transaction happening with Maharashtra to Maharashtra or Gujarat to Gujarat. IGST collected by the central government for the interstate interstate sales. It means the Maharashtra to Tamil Nadu or Maharashtra to Gujarat. So GST having the two parts, mainly intra and inter. This is all about this chapter. We just recap of this chapter. We had learned some key terms as deficient finance, new economic policies, liberalization, privatization, disinvestment, globalization, outsourcing, bilateral, multilateral trade agreements, and tariff and non-tariff barriers. It means GST and demonetization is also there. So that's all for today. Now we just complete our chapter number 3, the economic reforms since 1991. It is important aspect regarding the exam. So please go through this chapter and prepare yourself well done. Thank you. Have a nice day.